Have you ever felt that your dreams are too big for where you come from? That maybe your background, your city, or your situation is too small for your goals? Then listen to this, because the story of Ritesh Agarwal, the founder of OYO Rooms, will change the way you think about success. Ritesh's story is not about luck or rich parents or fancy education. It's about pure hunger, courage, and unstoppable belief. He was just a small-town boy from Odisha who dared to dream like a giant. He didn't come from a business family with crores of investment. In fact, he started with only 50 rupees in his pocket and a dream that people called too big for someone like him. As a teenager, while others were still figuring out what to study, Ritesh was already exploring ideas, learning online, and trying small businesses. He didn't wait for the perfect time or the perfect plan, he simply began. His life reminds us that you don't need permission to dream big. The empire he built, OYO Rooms, now valued in thousands of crores, started from a simple idea: to make travel and stays in India affordable, clean, and comfortable. But the real magic behind OYO was not just a business plan. It was Ritesh's belief that even a small idea, when worked on with passion, can grow into something massive. This story is not just about hotels and technology. It's about vision, failure, courage, and the power of never giving up. It's about how a young boy from a small Indian town challenged big hotel chains, faced failures again and again, but still kept moving forward until he became one of India's youngest billionaires. So sit back and get ready for a journey that will inspire you to stop doubting yourself and start believing in your own potential. Because if Ritesh Agarwal could rise from 50 rupees to 8,000 crores, what's really stopping you?
Chapter 1. Humble Beginnings, a Small-Town Dreamer. Ritesh Agarwal's story begins in a small town called Bisam Cuttack in Odisha. He was born into a simple, middle-class Marwari family. Not rich, not poor, just average. But even as a child, Ritesh was not average in his thinking. He was naturally curious, always asking questions, and loved exploring how things worked. While other kids were playing cricket or memorizing school notes, Ritesh would spend hours reading, experimenting, and learning from the world around him. He wasn't a topper-type student who scored full marks. In fact, school didn't excite him much. What truly excited him was learning about life and business. He had that spark, that inner energy that made him think differently. As a teenager, he started selling SIM cards in his town. Most people would think it's a small job, but for Ritesh, it was a way to understand people, money, and real-world business. He didn't do it for pocket money or fun. He did it to learn the value of hard work and communication. This early experience shaped his mindset. He learned that money doesn't come from luck. It comes from solving problems and adding value. He also understood that if you want to do something great in life, you have to start small and stay curious. From that small town in Odisha, a young boy was silently preparing himself for something extraordinary. He didn't know how or when, but deep inside, he believed that one day he would do something big, something that would make a difference. That belief, born in a humble home with small dreams and big hopes, became the foundation of his journey from a small-town dreamer to India's youngest billionaire.
Chapter 2. The Journey to Delhi, a New World. At the age of just 17, Ritesh Agarwal left his small town in Odisha and moved to Delhi for college. For him, this was not just a new city. It was a new world, full of energy, opportunity, and big dreams. Like many young Indians, he arrived with hope in his eyes and ambition in his heart. But very soon, he realized that his real classroom was not the college, it was the world outside. In Delhi, Ritesh started exploring, meeting people, and attending startup events. He loved learning from entrepreneurs and dreamers. He was fascinated by how simple ideas could become big businesses. Slowly,
He began to feel that he wanted to build something of his own, something that would solve a real problem. So, he made one of the boldest decisions of his life. He dropped out of college. Not because he was lazy or confused, but because he wanted to create something meaningful. Everyone around him was shocked, but Ritesh believed that real learning happens when you take action, not when you just sit in a classroom. During this time, he traveled across India on a tight budget. He stayed in small lodges, budget hotels, and guest houses. And that's when he noticed something important. Most of these places were uncomfortable, unclean, and unpredictable. Every hotel had a different experience. Sometimes the beds were dirty, sometimes there was no water, sometimes the service was terrible. He thought to himself, why is it so hard to find a simple, clean, and affordable room in India? That one question changed his life. That small observation, made during his budget travels, planted a billion-rupee idea in his mind. He didn't have money, he didn't have a big team, but he had something far more powerful, a problem worth solving. And from that moment, Ritesh Agarwal decided that he would build a company that made travel comfortable and affordable for everyone, no matter where they stayed. That was the seed of what would one day become OYO Rooms.
Chapter 3. The Birth of OYO Stays, the First Step. In 2012, at just 18 years old, Ritesh Agarwal took his first real step into entrepreneurship. He launched his first startup called OYO Stays, which was somewhat like Airbnb, a platform where people could rent out their rooms or small hotels to travelers looking for budget stays. It was his first big experiment, his first baby step toward his dream. But things didn't go as planned. The Indian travel market was still very new to the concept of online room booking. Most small hotel owners were not tech-savvy, and they didn't understand how to list or manage their properties online. On the other side, customers didn't trust the idea of staying in someone else's room without proper guarantee or standard. The business struggled. Bookings were few, and growth was slow. Many people told him to quit and move on, that the idea wouldn't work in India. But Ritesh wasn't the type to give up easily. Instead of quitting, he did something rare. He listened and learned. He personally spoke to hundreds of hotel owners and travelers to understand what was going wrong. Through those conversations, he discovered something important. India didn't need more rooms. India needed better rooms. The problem wasn't the lack of hotels. It was the lack of quality and consistency. Travelers didn't want luxury. They just wanted a clean bed, good service, and trust that what they saw online would be what they got in real life. That small but powerful insight became the turning point in his journey. Ritesh realized that if he could create a network of affordable hotels that maintained the same standard, clean rooms, proper service, reliable experience, then people would start trusting and booking online. That realization changed everything. He decided to completely rethink his model, and that was the moment when the idea of OYO Rooms, or On Your Own Rooms, was born in his mind. It was no longer about renting random rooms. It was about transforming budget stays in India.
Chapter 4. The Turning Point, from OYO to OYO. In 2013, Ritesh Agarwal took a bold and life-changing decision. He rebranded his startup, OYO Stays, into OYO Rooms, which stood for On Your Own Rooms. This was not just a name change, it was a complete shift in purpose, strategy, and mindset. The new mission was very clear and simple: to provide clean, affordable, and standardized rooms for everyone, everywhere. Ritesh wanted to solve a real Indian problem: that traveling within the country was often stressful because people couldn't trust budget hotels. One room would be clean, The next would be dirty, and prices kept changing without logic. He wanted to fix all that. To truly understand the ground reality, Ritesh didn't sit in an office. He personally stayed in hundreds of small hotels and lodges across India. He spoke directly with owners, staff, and customers. He noticed even small things: dirty bed sheets, broken showers, bad lighting, and untrained staff. He studied every problem deeply and started creating systems to fix them one by one. Then came the tough part: convincing hotel owners to join OYO. Many were skeptical. They didn't understand technology or online bookings. But Ritesh patiently explained to them that OYO would bring them more customers, better management, and consistent income. He promised to handle marketing, pricing, and training while they focused on hospitality. Slowly, hotel owners began to trust him. A few joined, then a few more, and before long, OYO started growing city by city, state by state. From Gurgaon to Delhi, from Mumbai to Bangalore, the red OYO signboards started appearing everywhere. People loved the idea: a clean, comfortable, and affordable room that felt the same wherever you went. Travelers started booking without fear. Students, families, and business people all began trusting OYO for their trips. This was the true turning point in Ritesh's life. The young dropout from Odisha had now built a growing brand that was changing how India traveled. What began as a small experiment was slowly becoming a national movement, and it was just the beginning.
Chapter 5. The Big Break, Thiel Fellowship. At just 19 years old, Ritesh Agarwal achieved something that very few people in the world ever do. He won the Thiel Fellowship, a global program started by Peter Thiel, the co-founder of PayPal and an early investor in Facebook. The Thiel Fellowship was not for academic toppers or Ivy League students. It was for young dreamers who wanted to change the world with their ideas. Ritesh was selected from thousands of applicants around the world. He received $100,000, around 65 lakh rupees at that time, in funding, not for his college marks, but for his bold vision of making affordable and standardized hotel stays accessible to everyone. This moment changed his life completely. The fellowship gave him global exposure. He met top entrepreneurs, mentors, and investors who helped him think bigger. It also gave him the confidence and validation that his idea was not small or local. It had the power to transform the travel industry, not just in India, but across the world. Ritesh didn't waste a single rupee of that funding. He used it wisely to build OYO's technology platform, improve the mobile app, and create strong operational systems. He focused on solving problems using data, automation, and customer feedback. This was the phase where OYO moved from being a startup run by a passionate teenager to a professionally structured company. With better systems, trained staff, and tech support, OYO began to scale fast. Hotels wanted to join, investors started noticing, and customers began trusting the brand even more. The Thiel Fellowship was not just money, it was a stamp of belief. It told the world that a young boy from Odisha could build something that even Silicon Valley respected. And with that new confidence and global attention, Ritesh was ready to take OYO to the next level, from a small Indian startup to an international brand in the making.
Chapter 6. The Growth Explosion, from one city to the whole nation. After the rebranding to OYO Rooms and the success of the Thiel Fellowship, Ritesh Agarwal was unstoppable. What started as just a few hotels in Gurgaon soon began spreading like wildfire across India. Ritesh had one clear goal: to make OYO a name every traveler in India could trust. City by city, OYO grew rapidly. Delhi, Mumbai, Bangalore, Chennai, Hyderabad, Pune, and even Goa. Wherever people needed a reliable and affordable place to stay, OYO was there. The idea clicked perfectly with India's growing youth and working population who were traveling for jobs, studies, or vacations. The reason for OYO's fast growth was not luck, it was Ritesh's smart system. He focused on technology, customer experience, and strong partnerships. Every hotel that joined OYO was trained and transformed. Rooms were cleaned, staff were trained,
Branding was updated and the service became standardized. Whether you booked a room in Delhi or Jaipur, you could expect the same quality and comfort. People loved the simplicity. Just open the app, choose your city, and book a clean, affordable room within seconds. No bargaining, no uncertainty, just trust and convenience. Behind the scenes, Ritesh and his young team were working day and night. They built a strong tech platform that managed bookings, reviews, payments, and customer feedback, all automatically. OYO also built relationships with local hotel owners, helping them increase their income by filling empty rooms through OYO's network. It was a win-win model. Customers got affordable stays, and hotel owners got more business. Within just a few years, OYO became India's largest hospitality network, with thousands of hotels and millions of satisfied customers. The red OYO logo became a symbol of reliability for budget travelers. Ritesh had done what many thought was impossible. He had organized India's chaotic budget hotel industry using technology, trust, and youthful energy. This was the golden growth phase of OYO, a time when it became not just a startup, but a movement that changed how India stayed, traveled, and experienced hospitality.
Chapter 7. Facing Challenges, Criticism, Losses, and Pressure. Every great success story has its storms, and for Ritesh Agarwal, this was that phase. After OYO's massive expansion, new problems started to appear. Managing thousands of hotels across India was not easy. Complaints began coming in. Customers were unhappy with some rooms. Hotel partners had issues with payments, and service quality was not always consistent. The media and critics quickly jumped in. Many called OYO overambitious and said it was expanding too fast. Some even said the company would not survive. The pressure was huge from investors, partners, and the public. OYO was losing money because it was investing heavily in marketing, staff, and technology. For a young founder like Ritesh, it was a tough test of patience and leadership. But Ritesh didn't run away. He didn't blame anyone. Instead, he took full responsibility. He admitted that rapid growth had caused management gaps and promised to fix them. He began restructuring teams, improving the hotel verification process, and bringing stricter quality control systems. OYO started focusing more on customer satisfaction rather than just expansion numbers. Ritesh also worked hard to rebuild trust with hotel partners. He met many of them personally, listened to their problems, and created fairer systems. Slowly, things began to stabilize. Through all this chaos, one thing never changed: Ritesh's mindset. He believed that every challenge is a hidden lesson. He once said, "Every failure is just feedback to grow better." This attitude helped him stay calm, learn fast, and come back stronger. Even during times when many doubted him, Ritesh continued to innovate, adding new services, improving the app, and entering new markets. He proved that true entrepreneurs don't give up when things go wrong. They evolve. This phase of criticism and struggle was not the end of OYO. It was the training ground that made it tougher, smarter, and ready for global success.
Chapter 8. Going Global, Taking OYO to the World. After conquering India, Ritesh Agarwal set his eyes on the world. He believed that OYO's model, affordable, standardized, and tech-driven hotel stays, could work anywhere. So, he took a bold step that many Indian entrepreneurs only dream about. He went global. OYO first expanded into China, one of the most competitive hospitality markets in the world. Then came Southeast Asia, the UK, the USA, and the Middle East. Within just a few years, OYO became one of the fastest-growing hotel chains on the planet, with thousands of hotels across more than 80 countries. This was not just growth, it was a revolution. A company that started with one small hotel in Gurgaon was now competing with global giants like Marriott and Hilton. Ritesh's dream of giving travelers clean, affordable stays anywhere, anytime, was becoming real on an international scale. He was now meeting top global investors, CEOs, and world leaders from Silicon Valley to Singapore.
But even with all the fame, Ritesh remained grounded. He often said that his focus was never luxury, but accessibility, to make good travel experiences available to everyone. At just 25 years old, Ritesh Agarwal had achieved what many couldn't in a lifetime. He was now one of the youngest billionaires in the world, and OYO had become a global brand recognized for innovation and ambition. What made this achievement truly inspiring was not just the scale of success, but the spirit behind it. Ritesh proved that an Indian startup could go global, that a small-town boy could build a company respected in boardrooms across continents. From a single idea born out of a bad hotel stay, he had built an empire that was now changing how the world travels. And yet, he never forgot his roots, the same curiosity, courage, and hunger that started it all continued to guide him through every step of OYO's global journey.
Chapter 9. Becoming the Youngest Billionaire. By the year 2020, Ritesh Agarwal achieved something that seemed almost unbelievable. His net worth crossed 8,000 crore rupees, making him the youngest self-made billionaire in India. What made this even more impressive was that he didn't inherit wealth or come from a business empire. He built everything from scratch, brick by brick, with his vision, risk-taking, and relentless hard work. That same year, Ritesh made a bold move that surprised the business world. He decided to buy back a large number of shares in his own company, OYO. This showed his complete confidence and belief in OYO's future. While most founders dilute their ownership to raise money, Ritesh did the opposite. He invested his own money to own more of the company he built. That sent a powerful message. I'm not here to sell my company. I'm here to build it for the long run. This moment was more than just financial success. It was symbolic. The story of a young Indian who went from selling SIM cards in a small town to owning a global hospitality brand that operates in dozens of countries. His journey became an example for millions of young dreamers in India. Proof that age, background, or lack of connections can't stop you if your dream is strong enough. Ritesh's rise to billionaire status wasn't about fancy cars or luxury homes. It was about vision, persistence, and courage to take big risks. He once said that building OYO was not just about hotels. It was about creating opportunities, solving problems, and showing that Indian startups can compete with the best in the world. At a time when most people his age were just starting their careers, Ritesh was already running a global company worth billions. His success inspired a generation of young Indians to think big, start early, and believe that dreams don't need permission. They just need action. Chapter 10. Lessons from Ritesh Agarwal's Journey. Ritesh Agarwal's story is not just about business success. It's a life lesson for anyone who dares to dream big. His journey teaches us that you don't need a fancy degree, rich parents, or perfect timing to achieve something great. You just need courage, consistency, and clarity of purpose. Dream big, even if you start small. Ritesh began with almost nothing, a small-town boy with limited resources and huge dreams. But he didn't let his background define his future. He dreamed beyond his surroundings, and that's what made the difference. Don't fear failure. Learn from it. From Aravel's failure to OYO's early struggles, Ritesh faced many setbacks. But instead of quitting, he treated every failure as a lesson. Each mistake made him smarter, stronger, and better prepared for success. Start before you're ready. Action teaches more than plans. If Ritesh had waited for the perfect time, OYO might have never been born. He believed in starting first and improving along the way. Real growth comes from doing, not just dreaming. Believe in solving real problems, not just building apps. What made OYO special was that it solved a real problem: poor quality and unorganized budget stays. Ritesh didn't chase trends, he chased solutions that made life easier for millions of travelers. Stay humble, stay hungry. Success is a journey, not a destination. Even after becoming a billionaire, Ritesh stayed grounded. He never lost his curiosity or hunger to learn. He still talks about improving systems, serving customers better, and building for the long term. His journey reminds us that success is not a one-time event. It's a continuous journey of learning, failing, and growing. Ritesh Agarwal's life shows that no dream is too big and no dreamer too small. If you believe in your vision and are willing to work for it every single day, the world will eventually believe in you, too.
Chapter 11. Ritesh's Philosophy. Think big, start small, move fast. Ritesh Agarwal lives by a simple but powerful rule. Think big, start small, move fast. This one line sums up his entire journey from a small-town dreamer to a global entrepreneur. He never waited for perfect conditions or big investments. He started small, one room, one hotel, one city at a time. But he thought big and moved fast. That mindset turned OYO into one of the biggest hotel networks in the world. He often says, opportunities don't come with a signboard. You have to spot them, chase them, and never give up. This is exactly what he did. While others ignored the poor state of budget hotels, Ritesh saw an opportunity to bring technology, trust, and comfort into a broken system. He didn't wait for someone else to fix it. He took the first step himself. Ritesh's story is living proof that age, money, or background can never stop you. Only self-doubt can. He had no fancy degree, no family business support, and no guarantee of success. But what he had was clarity, courage, and the ability to keep moving even when the road was tough. For Ritesh, OYO was never just about profit. It was about solving a real problem and making travel easier for millions of people. He wanted every traveler, whether a student, family, or business person, to find a clean, affordable, and safe place to stay anywhere in the country. That mission gave OYO its heart and purpose. His philosophy teaches us that you don't need to wait for luck. You create your own luck through action. Start small, stay consistent, and keep improving every day. If you move with passion and purpose, small steps can lead to massive success. Ritesh Agarwal's journey shows that big dreams are built from small beginnings, and those who dare to start, even when the world doubts them, are the ones who truly change it.
Ritesh Agarwal's story is living proof that you don't need to be born rich to live rich. You don't need a big surname, a foreign degree, or powerful connections. All you need is a burning dream and the courage to chase it every single day. From a small town in Odisha to the world's biggest cities, Ritesh's journey shows that greatness can rise from the most unexpected places. He started with nothing but curiosity, a laptop, and an idea. He faced rejection, failure, and doubt, but he never stopped believing in himself. And that belief turned into a global empire worth billions. His life reminds us that dreams don't have an age or background. They only need action. If he could sell SIM cards as a teenager and later build one of the world's largest hotel chains, what's stopping you? Whatever your dream is, start today. Don't wait for perfect timing, don't wait for support, and don't wait for confidence to magically appear. Start where you are, with what you have. Because the truth is, the perfect moment never comes, but action makes it perfect. Ritesh's story isn't just about business. It's about belief, persistence, and purpose. He dared to dream when no one believed in him. And today, he's inspiring millions who believe in themselves because of him. So remember, if Ritesh can do it, you can too. The next big success story, the next world-changing idea, the next inspiration for millions could be yours. All it takes is one decision to start.